All right. Welcome back to wait, First Reform Take, part two. I was looking up Newple, uh, in the 9 minutes we had for a cooldown, and I found out his mom's a hooper, and I'm all in on
Ooh.
him. So
Okay. Okay. That's
I
I
like
think
that
that's
guy.
reasonable. I think that's reasonable.
Um,
Okay, so let's
did we
try
do
to
Carter Bryant?
we had finished Carter Bryant. Also something
Explain who Colin Murray Boyles is to me, because
I,
that's a
I
weird
did
name.
just want I did just want to point out that now that the Suns have the 10th pick, they'll probably be in position to take Jace Richardson because Matt Ishbia is obsessed with turning Phoenix into Michigan State West. And he seems like the kind of guy who will definitely bust completely out there. So, okay.
I think
Um,
whoever goes to Phoenix bus. I think the
yeah, I
pressure
think
of the Durant
it
thing
doesn't
hurts a
matter.
lot.
It doesn't matter. So, CMB,
First of all, it's great to
he's
have a nickname like that. The initials
yes,
thing
yes. No
is
one's
big
calling
right
him
now.
Colin Murray Broyles. He's CMB. He's the guy that people have been throwing the Draymond comp on, and it's just
Oh
wrong.
no.
It's just wrong. But like, he's another fit bust for me, and I'm not happy about it. He's an interesting player to me because like I'm usually not a fan of non-shooting undersized bigs, but like he has a really unique skill set. I mean, he's I like him better than Drace Walker because Drace Walker was a guy who his whole thing he's supposed to be like a bruising four, put you at the shoulder into the chest kind of guy, and Drace. But all of the reports on Drace is, well, he shies away from contact. Well, shocker, shocker, Drace isn't very good. And that's not CMB. He will put himself into guys. He's apparently a very good defender. Um, has some connection skill. I don't think he's an exceptional passer, but note that he has more assists than Derek Queen. Um, I mean, I don't know. He's just not he doesn't shoot. And like listening to what people have been talking about him on Draft Podcast is that he's a guy who needs a ton of floor space. And my understanding is a lot of the teams who may take him, like people seem convinced he's going to go to Toronto because Toronto loves like big athletic wings. And Toronto is like a bad fit for him. Like he doesn't have a point guard who can space the floor for him. I think they're just going to have like a lot of weird, like just weird spacing issues. And like the high end comp I've seen is Paul Millsap or I think Julius Randle without the shooting, which I think is optimistic.
Yeah,
And like I think he
I
could
don't know.
get there. I think if he ends up on the right team, and I don't know who that would be. It would have to be someone with good shooters around him. Like I don't know who that would be in
I
this
mean, anyone who ends
range.
up on the Spurs has a good shot of developing.
Yeah, but the Spurs
Oklahoma
don't have
City
any
really does have a
shooting.
pick at 15. That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, if he got to like OKC, he'd probably be okay.
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota, I think someone like Anthony Edwards could space the floor. But I don't
Does
know. I don't
I
know.
guess to wrap him up, does he seem like a heat culture guy if he's this kind of undersized high motor dude? Could we get really annoying with that?
Yeah, yeah, but I don't see them. I don't know if he's gonna last that long on the board. I don't know. I'm the more I listen to sort of evaluations of his game, the more I'm convinced like he's gonna go someplace where he doesn't fit properly, and unless he suddenly becomes like a good and prolific shooter, which he's not, his skill set is just weird for the NBA. Um, like I see a lot of like old, like his low end comp is like old PJ Tucker. Like that's not like a great sign.
No.
I don't know. In a weird way, I want him to do well, even though as a pure vibes thing, he's not the kind of archetype I like. I will point out, I mean, I like him more than Derek Queen, but I think he's going to be one of these guys who's just like ends up being a fit bust. And sometimes those guys like leave and like 4 years into their career. Like Denny Avdija, I'm saying his name wrong. Avdija, how do you say his name?
Avija, I
Avdija,
think. Yeah,
yeah.
I know who you
He's a
mean.
really great example. Like he looked like a fit bust on the Wizards, and then he gets
Where did he
the
go
the
to?
Blazers, and he's like
Blazers.
pretty good on the Blazers now. So like that could be CMB's career path. It's like he leaves whoever drafts him, possibly the Wizards, and goes somewhere that's able to unlock, like utilize his skill set. I don't know. I kind of wish Houston had kept the 10th pick. And I mean, I
I
don't know if they
do
have the
too.
floor spacing for him, but like he fits their like junkyard dog mentality defensively. If he
I
gets to the
just think that would be
Thunder,
another pick where these guys develop out. You don't know if they develop out well because you don't know if they'd actually
I
get the
know.
playing time there.
I know. Well, there's also that, but
So
like
that
I
is
think
the
he's
other issue of him.
yeah. But if he got to like the Thunder, he might be okay. Okay, moving on. Cedric Coward,
Thunder should draft and develop and sit whoever they get,
correct.
unless they
Cedric
get a
Coward.
total shooter.
He is.
Tough name.
I think he's going to be okay. He is the Shaden Sharp of this draft. He barely played, sort of. I mean, he barely played at Washington State before getting hurt. He has a total of I think 6 games. He had been in like Eastern Washington or like a D2 school or something. Really tested well at the combine. People seem to love his shooting form. And I think like Shaden, I think he will be fine. I think he will be fine. He will have an NBA career, but I don't see
Tough
all-star
birthday and
upside.
tough last name.
What's his birthday? Oh, jeez. No, no, that's actually the best birthday. That's a wonderful birthday to have. Okay. Cedric Coward, moving on. Asa Newell, I think he's going to be good. I am way higher on Asa Newell than the um, uh, what consensus is. What did your boy Josh Lloyd say about him? I'm
Uh,
curious.
a potential risk had him at 18, so
Okay.
right around Kasparis.
A lot of people think he's going to be a bust. I think he has a genuine chance at being like a baby Jared Allen. He plays way above the rim. I think only Maliwatch had more dunks as a freshman than him. I think he gets a bad defensive rating, but I think the
Is he a
defensive
true
numbers.
offensive guy?
No, I mean he doesn't shoot a ton and not very well. I mean he's not like a handler. And like I think people are saying like he doesn't fit either as a modern four or like a stretch five. And I get that, but like he's springy. He's big. His wingspan's not great, but like I think he's a pretty decent help defender. I mean, he did sort of tail off a little bit towards the end of the year, but like he's still I think he's a guy who can finish lobs. I think if he can shoot even a little bit, it'll help him a lot. I think he's going to be good. I don't know if he's an all-star, but I think if the standard for good is starter on a playoff team, I think he's going to be that. I'm way higher on him than I think most
Okay.
people are. I think some of the comps, what are some of the comps on him? Um, the yeah, the comps on him. I mean, people are throwing like a Jonathan Isaac comp on him, which I don't buy. He doesn't have that same skill set. Um,
I
some people
mean,
are,
it looks
you
to me
know,
like he just does a lot of interior offense play and
correct. And
creation.
people are saying he's not big enough or strong enough to do that or tall enough. I'm like, I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. He's the same size as Jared Allen. I mean, I think Jared Allen's stronger. I mean, he needs to add weight, but like Jared Allen does have a crazy wingspan. I mean, his wingspan's 7'6", and Newell's is 6'11", but like
I mean, this guy
Jared
just
Allen's
shouts
six
at
nine.
me coaching, like if he goes somewhere where they can coach up his defense where he doesn't get
I
hunted, right?
I think there's some truth to that. Yeah. I think I don't know. I let me.
But the
I
theme of this show for me is like, don't get taken by the Wizards. Get taken by a few of them, like just these teams that can't develop anyone.
yeah, he doesn't. Yeah,
Like I could see him being good in Atlanta or something.
I like him a
Playing
lot.
with
I mean,
Trae Young.
I think at worst he's like a second unit big, and I think he can be a starter. And people are saying that's like the podcast. I was listening to like the Ball podcast, and like I love those guys, but they were saying like, oh, if you're saying like your guy's gonna be like a backup big, like he's actually a bust. I'm like, that's not how it works. Like, and the NBA is trending towards multiple bigs, staggered
Yes, it
bigs.
is. Like you
Like
stagger
I
two of them.
think I think Newell, I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be legitimately good. He's efficient. I'm not worried about him. And the second guy, next guy on this list, Thomas Sorber. He
New
will be
Jersey.
good. He will be good if he's not an injury bust. He broke his foot during the season. That is a huge red flag for a young big.
So send him to
I've been
OKC.
Yes, we've been burned by this before, but like I like him a ton. I think he's a traditional hub big. His passing, watching his passing highlights is really impressive. Like he has good floor awareness. He's huge, great wingspan. I mean, he could also be another Jared Allen type, complete non-shooter, doesn't really handle the rock, but like very good in interior defender, some switchability. Like I would say he is my top big on the board if he hadn't gotten hurt. The fact that he got hurt, yeah, you'll like this. His high end comp is Al Horford, from what I'm reading.
Yeah. I
So,
mean,
and I think that's,
playmaking.
yeah. But like
Okay.
the foot injury, it just scares the shit out of me. And like if I'm drafting in this range, I can probably live with him if he gets hurt and never plays. But like if you're looking at like 7, 8, 9, like you can't stomach that. It's unfortunate, but like if he stays healthy, I think he'll be very good. Um,
Railroad Island thing with him is
I
just
would
that
love to
he
know
was,
where you're
well, he's
getting this from.
Georgetown, so Ed Cooley coached him. I really do think Ed Cooley has prepped people pretty well for the NBA.
There's another guy later in the draft from Georgia that I like, but we'll get to that.
So I
Hopefully.
just think, yeah, we'll
Let's
see.
run through these.
Oh, we're about to get
Rasheer
to a guy I
Fleming.
like, but I don't know
So,
Rasheer.
okay, Rasheer Fleming was one of my quote unquote my guys in this draft, but like the more I read, he really tailed off at the end of the year, and the more I read about him, the more I worry that he's a he and some of what I've watched, I mean, like he seems like a slow processing speed guy, and that can be the kiss of death in the NBA. Now, some
Like
people have
mentally.
said, yeah, like if you just don't process what happens on the
Yep.
floor quickly enough. That's also apparently a problem with Maliwatch as well, but like I think Duke was able to cover that
Maybe
somewhat.
he has sleep apnea.
Entirely possible. But Fleming, like he produces superficially good numbers, but like he did against pretty bad competition. And like normally you'd say like a guy who shot like a big who shot 53, 39, 74. Like I'm windmill slam dunking that pick, but there's enough sort of doubt buzzing around him. I think he'll be fine. I do think he'll be fine. Like I have seen some of his opposing coaches say he'll do better in the NBA because St. Joseph just wasn't very good at getting him the ball in space.
Was St. Joe's
But he's
patina?
probably, yeah. No, no,
Okay.
no, no. That's St. John's. St. John's is
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
Latino.
yeah.
St. Joe's was like nothing.
Yeah, no, they're
But
nobody.
like I'm just skeptical that he's going to produce in the NBA the way he did in college.
I'm
Um,
watching his highlights, which I've been throwing because we didn't get blocked on the first one, so it seems like we're good.
okay.
It looks like, I mean, man, he's going up. He's gonna get hurt. I don't know.
Interesting.
He's
Interesting.
playing. He is playing fierce. I kind of love it.
He does play
But
fierce. That's
it's
another. He's a guy I would want to
like,
love,
oh
and
no, the
like,
Miami mock is so terrible. He
oh
kind
yeah,
of
he's been
feels like a
mocked to
Miami
mommy. He
guy.
does feel like a Miami guy, big time. And like,
Just
I
looking
think
at
that
it.
would be his best case
That would be great
scenario.
because I just worry,
Yeah.
like what I
He
saw
would
just
also be
quickly.
good on the Thunder because, like, if you buy the shooting, like, that's kind of what the Thunder need is like another 3-and-D guy, like someone who
Also,
can
the
who
Thunder, if
shoot
you can
threes
just unleash
consistently.
someone to be tenacious for 10 minutes on that team, like,
Correct, correct. Like, even if
go
he's coming
for
off
it.
the bench for the Thunder, like that might be his
Anyone they
best
take
case.
is coming off the
Yeah.
bench.
Yeah. He's also on the
Um,
older side. Like he was somewhere else before St. Joseph's. I forget where he was. He's a transfer guy. Okay. I don't know. I
one of
want to
our
like him
flying
more than I
Frenchmen.
do. Noah Essengay, I'm just gonna say he's gonna be bad, and I have no justification for this whatsoever except vibes.
It's a tough image.
He was reasonably productive in a pro league at 18 years old. Um, he's not a great shooter, but you don't necessarily worry about this at age. High fouls, that is a thing. But like, I don't
Played
think
in
he's going to be
Germany.
bad. Some of these guys have to be bad, and sometimes you just have to do what the vibes tell you. And I think he's going to be bad. Um,
Okay, do we want to just clear him off? Because I have
yeah,
nothing about
yeah.
him.
Next
He's
up,
not the French guy I'm interested in.
next guy, Igor Demon, bad. I am completely out on this guy. He
Is
is.
this
I don't even think
anti-Russian?
this is the guy people keep comparing to Josh Giddey, and
Oh,
I
okay.
think he is dog shit. Like it was like, oh, he's big, he's an elite passer.
He's bleeding red on this thing.
I am my belief is like there are. tons of Euro, and I'm not saying he's a Euro guy, like you know what I mean, like the stereotype, but there are tons of guys. Like who is that like tiny guy on the Nuggets who was like 5'8", who was like a really good passer and nothing else?
I don't know. I'm bad at
I
recall,
can't
no
remember
matter
his
what.
name. He played for like 1 year in the league. And it's like if all you have is passing, like passing is a very important skill to have, but if all you have is passing, I don't think you're an NBA player. I don't think
No,
this
you
guy
have to be
shoots
able to do
well.
different things nowadays. You
He's
have to.
he's frail. Just because like people just love he's not a good athlete. Like people just love him because he's big and he is a legitimately good passer. But I see the reviews of him by opposing coaches. I mean, they're all literally saying like, "Well, is he going to learn to shoot?" And sure, if he learns to shoot, he has a chance at being Josh Giddey, which is not necessarily. But I also point out that so he averaged 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists on like a a NCAA tournament team that made the Sweet 16. Okay, and
I don't like his shot, by the way.
he did that
Just
as a 18 and a half, 19-year-old. Josh Giddey, let me see if I can pull up his stats right real quick. Give me 1 second here.
well, while you look that up, I'll just say I don't like his shot, and it's a
No, his shot's
totally weird
terrible. His
thing that
shot's
just
terrible.
it looks awful.
Josh Giddey at 18, he was younger than Demon at draft time. In a pro league in Australia, averaged 10.8 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Like, and I think he was a better 3-point shooter. Say what you will about Giddey, but like he came in with an I see the vision skill set. Like I don't think Giddey's that good, but like he's an NBA player. Giddey is someone I would term
Yeah.
as fine. Demon is just not an NBA player to me. I don't even think he's going to be a backup. I just think I just think he's nothing. He's not even on my board.
I
Like
could
if
get behind that only because just blindly looking at 1 minute of
yeah,
shot, like nothing. I just
okay.
think it looks ugly. It's like seeing a
Yeah.
bad swing in baseball. Sometimes that's fine.
Yes. Yes. And like
But
unless and like didn't people learn their lesson from Markel Fultz? Okay.
no.
Nick Clifford.
Oh,
Fine.
this guy
Fine.
I saw play at some point.
He's fine. He will be the Dalton Necht of this draft. He's going to be a bench guy for a contender, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Good rebounder for his size, though, and that may be the swing skill that pushes him up a little bit. But
Memphis
like,
seems like a good fit. He's
if
old,
he
right? He's
he's
23,
old. He's 20. Yeah. Do they
but
have
he
a
can be
pick in that
ready right
range?
away.
Yes. Do they have a
They're
pick in that
mocking him
range?
16 to Memphis. Minnesota makes sense, right?
He is a very much a Minnesota Memphis guy. He could go in that range. Okay.
Yeah.
Next
Could he
guy.
even be a Thunder depth piece, maybe?
I don't know if he
I don't know.
shoots well enough.
Danny
Next guy,
Wolf, who
Danny
is this cat?
Wolf. Uh, I think he's gonna be bad. My reasoning
It's
for
gonna
that is
Oh God. He's gonna be annoying.
Michigan played him as a 7 foot point guard. And like it's possible he goes somewhere that figures out a way to leverage his skill set, but like it just it's the big thing with the NBA draft is do you have a scalable skill set to the NBA from college? Like if you're a 3 and D guy, that's scalable. There just aren't a lot of 7 foot point guards who are not Jokic. And like
Yeah.
he doesn't shoot well. He doesn't really defend. I mean, we average it blocking out, but he's not like a good defender. He's not particularly athletic, strong. I mean, his vertical was 30 inches, which is even for a 7 footer is bad. I think, and the YKB boys, I'll shout them out because I disagree with a lot of their draft takes, but one of them said like, well, he's not going to be running pick and rolls. He's not going to be a point guard. And one of them said, well, what does he have? And I agree with them. I think
Mm.
he's basically going to be a fit bust. Like, I don't think people are going to figure out how to use his skill set in the NBA.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm just looking, I'm learning all these guys. I don't know. Second unit? Run a second unit? Is that a place for him, maybe?
Maybe, but I don't
In
know.
the
I mean,
right place?
it's in the right place, maybe. I mean,
Great
the
name. He
Pacers,
looks like an annoying, like,
he looks
seventh
very
best
annoying.
player on your team.
If the
Like,
Celtics get him, he'll end
oh
up
God,
being
yeah.
actually
I would love
good and
that.
annoying the shit out of all of us. But that's
He would be like a Horford replacement. Uh, I mean, I don't think he'd do that well. I don't know anything about
okay.
him though.
Next guy, Joan Berender. I'm just gonna say bad. I know nothing about him really, but like my understanding is he's supposed to be a defense first center and he's 6'10", 230.
He's
Like
French.
he's also French. It's not gonna happen for him. Next guy.
Okay, fine. I'll take it. Tell me about Liam McNeely because I love
Uh,
UConn.
Bad. He will be
Really?
bad. I think he's a total fraud player. He had a ton of hype coming in. He did not live up to it. Here's how I know you're going to be bad. If all of the draft guys say, "Well, you shot better in the elite high school basketball league that you played in," I don't want to hear it. Do
I
not
love
talk to me
that.
about high school at all. He shot 31% from the floor. He shot under 40 from three. He shot under 40% from the floor. Bad. I think this guy is not even a first rounder. I watched him in the tournament, and Elijah Martin, who we'll maybe talk about and who I like a lot, is 6'2", and Liam McNeely, who is 6'8", was trying to guard him, and he was bouncing off of a 6'2" guy. He does not have it. He is not going to shoot well enough to make up for his athleticism shortcomings. He's also a negative wingspan guy, or he's close to it.
I don't think there
I
could be a little TJ McConnell in here. A little bit.
if
Some of
that's your
those look like what we saw last night when
but
he
if
was
that's your
attacking the rim.
ceiling, if that's your ceiling, like you know what his high end comp is that I'm looking at? Corey Kispert, the guy we just
Oh,
talked about
okay.
as like,
Well,
is he actually fine? Like I don't see it with him. I don't think his like processing or anything like that is bad, but like you're already capped in terms of upside due to a lack of athleticism. And if you are not a plus shooter, and I think he's just a fraud. I'm not in on him at all. I think he's going to be one of the few truly bust players in this draft. Moving on.
yeah, it just comes down to shooting. I will say Dan Hurley said he would translate. I don't know if we should trust Dan Hurley.
I do not respect Dan Hurley. I don't
I
respect
like
any
Dan.
college coach. I know you do.
I wanted to get to Nolan Traore because he's one of the guys I
Traore.
know. He was going like
Yeah.
fourth and he's
Okay.
fallen. But from what I understand, he's bounced back
Yes.
recently,
This is
but
all
his
accurate.
stock hasn't come up, and I think this is a
Correct.
steal. I like this guy still.
I would love to take him a swing on him in the 20s. He has a lot of problems, and
I'd go up to the tens for him.
what I
Just
don't like
I like him.
seeing is when I read interviews from like scouts about him is people making excuses because a lot of what I read was like, well, he didn't have a summer
I love
off and he
that.
hit
Give
the
me all
wall
the excuses.
and he hit the wall. Like I don't want to see that. Like I understand that's the reasoning why he sort of fell off in the middle of the season. And yes, he came back and he still has a great first step. He still has very good passing acumen, but like the one thing that worries me is he he has no left, is what I understand. So that
I am seeing a little bit of that
you're
just
running
through
the
four
risk of him
plays.
being mirror image Killian Hayes. He's also very small, like he's very thin. His height's okay, but he's thin. Which seems to be a thing with the
You
French
can
guys. I don't
put
get it.
on weight though.
You gotta get off the Mediterranean diet, French guys, and start eating some damn steaks. He's a boom bust guy to me. Like I think, which averages out to fine. Like I think he'll have a career. Like he's a good passer. I think he shoots better than people give him credit for. But like he's either something is going to figure out with him, and he's going to become like a genuine starting point guard. He's going to be like a very, very low end, like Tyrese Halliburton type, or he's going to be like nothing. I mean, he'll get a lot of chances because like point guard play is so important, but like I don't know if it ever clicks for him. Like
Uh,
he has to learn to dribble left-handed. Like he just has to. You are not Jaylen Brown. You don't have the skill set to get away with being one-handed.
Let me plant my flag on him just because
Is it
I
Cooper Flag? Is it Cooper Flag?
no, it's Providence College's Chris Dunn. I think like that's a worst case scenario for someone like this.
That's very
Is
optimistic.
like someone who still gets NBA time and eventually
Yeah.
finds the right fit
I
and
think
plays like 70 games.
that's not a bad comp. I think of the
I
French
mean,
guys in the draft, I like him the best. But like I don't know. I mean, just
I think he'll bounce around a
you
while.
can
I
see,
really do.
yeah,
I
that
think
makes the most sense. He's gonna have like a 10-year career as a journeyman, like kind of like a
a
Trey
journeyman
Jones
point guard.
type. Yeah.
And maybe
So
he's
that
just really good and this was a swoon year where he
it's
fell.
entirely possible. It's
But I
entirely
think that's
possible,
kind
but
of,
we'll
I
see.
think if your worst case, I mean, his worst case is out of the league. I don't know. I think he
Right.
has such
That's my worst
pedigree
case for him.
that he'll stick around.
I think you're
I'll
probably
grant you he's
right.
one of the five guys I watched a little of,
Yeah.
because I cared more about this in the beginning of the season,
Yeah.
and I
I
don't watch
think
college or international ball.
I
Uh,
think you're probably correct, but the floor is lower than that. I'll say that much.
I don't think he should go 24. I think he should
Okay.
be above that.
I would take him above Demon in a heartbeat. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, looking at this board as a mock, like I
Josh
would
Lloyd has him
take
11,
him.
by the way, so we're in
Interesting. I
sync
would probably
again.
take him like 17th, maybe. Okay. Will Riley, this is like one of those where I'm going to say he's going to be good, and that's going completely against the vibe I get. I don't know why. There's always like a guy I'm just wrong about. He's a negative wingspan guy. He's not a particularly good athlete, but like his skill set is what NBA teams just crave. Like he's a
Mhm.
big wing. He shoots a lot. I think he's raw. He's not going to be good out of the gate. Like he's probably going to be a G leaguer to start with. But
He was a
like,
sixth man of the year. That screams G League.
yeah, yeah. But like, I think something
Canadian.
about something about him just makes me think like he'll put it together somewhere. And I'll probably be wrong, and he's just nothing. But like, I don't know. I don't know.
Vibes are horrendous, but I think it's because
The
he's
vibe,
Illinois Illini.
yes, the vibes are horrendous, but like I'm always completely wrong about one guy that I think will be bad, and I'm just picking him, which means it'll flip and he will be bad, but I don't know. Walter Clayton, I think he'll be fine. He'll be like a bench scorer. I'm not buying the Kool-Aid
Great
just because
face
he
he made
had
here.
just because he had a good tournament run. I really don't weigh the tournament. It's a weird setting for evaluating talent. He also had a terrible game against Houston in the championship. So after all that hype about him being Mr. Clutch, like, what do you want from me? Um, but I
What's
mean,
his
he,
size like?
he is 6'2".
Hmm. It's listed
Um,
higher.
small wingspan. They're all listed high. Small wingspan, but he's
And
strong. All of the Florida guys are built, which I
yeah,
like a lot. But he's an 87% free throw shooter. He's a 38% shooter from three. If he can get his shot off, it's good. I think his shot form is okay.
so many of these guys are so interchangeable, and you just don't know. The
There's
more I
some
look
truth to
at,
that. There's some truth
like,
to that.
well, I don't know. He'll. A lot of these people, the new Orlando Magic logo looks horrible
It does.
on
It
this.
does. Okay,
Wow.
moving on. Moving on. Hugo Gonzalez, I think, is
I
nothing. I think
love
he's
this.
I think he's one of those guys who never comes over. Like he could not crack the rotation. I know it's Real Madrid. I
Send
want
him
to say
to
Barcelona.
Phoenix.
He could get about Phoenix. People say he is a good defender, but like I'm not sure that really translates. I don't know. I don't know. I just think this is where you start seeing guys who get drafted internationally and never come over. I think he's nothing.
I don't trust his hair off
Yeah.
the bat. He has too much of it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. He's testing the limits of hair theory, which is if you have too much hair, it makes you a worse player. Noah Penda, the next guy here.
French.
He's French. Who did he play for? Le Mans. I don't
Le
know.
Mans. That's cool.
He's gonna have a few years in the league. I think he'll be on the lower end of fine. I don't think he'll crap out completely, but I don't see him being a meaningful rotational player on like a high-end playoff team. He'll play in the league. You're getting into the draft range where it's like if this guy plays in the league real
That's a
minutes,
victory.
that's a
Yeah.
victory. I don't know how to pronounce
I think it's a
Udutiro.
dude Tiro.
I think so. Okay.
Tiro.
He doesn't shoot. He's a crazy athlete, like Amen
I
Thompson
remember watching a
level.
little bit of Arkansas.
He's the kind of guy I always overrate, and that he's the old school four, like wants just muscle pass. Although some people say he's closer to a three than a four, but like just say he's a forward. He's a big, and like he played hurt a lot this year, which didn't help his numbers, but he played her at the end of the year, which is why he had that his NCAA tournament game is 5 minutes. But like he's kind of like Yabu without the shooting, which isn't much, but like he'll come off the bench, give you 10 to 15 minutes, he'll throw down some sick dunks.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think he'll
know.
be
He looks
fine.
cool.
he looks cool. I think he's gonna be one of those players who everybody
I
enjoys,
think
who's not
everyone will be
necessarily,
rooting for him if he
yes,
gets in.
yes, he's one of those players who everybody will enjoy watching, who's not necessarily good. But I do think like,
The
yeah, I mean,
right defensive weirdo team, right?
yes,
Maybe.
yes, I don't know what team that would be, but like if he goes to a defensive weirdo team, he's a good fit there.
Just looking in like mid 20s. I
Okay.
don't know. Maybe the Magic, maybe like as
I think
they
he's gonna be a
tried to.
second. I think he's gonna be a second rounder.
Well,
But
maybe the
and looking at the
Clippers.
second
Maybe you can
round,
give them a
the
little.
Clippers are not a defensive weirdo team. Looking
Yeah, but they could use someone who
true, true.
actually
Maybe the
establishes
Celtics. The
that.
Celtics are kind of defensive weirdos, aren't they?
Oh, they have us taking Ben Seraph. How fun. He's also
Um,
next on the board.
so Ben
What's
Seraph.
this guy's deal?
Um, Someone said reading interviews about him, like it sounds like he is one of those guys who thinks he's always the best player on the floor, which
Hmm.
I think NBA executives love, and I think everybody else sort of recognizes is not always a positive because if you are not the best player on the floor, I think he's got a good handle. Not a great shooter, but again, younger guy, reasonably productive in Germany. What are some of his comps? Like, I don't know. I think he'll be fine. He is big. I mean, he's 6'6" and he's not skinny. Um, Again, he's another guy getting like Thomas Satoransky comps. This draft guide I'm reading loves Thomas Satoransky for some reason. He's probably a backup guard. I think he'll be a backup guard in the NBA. I don't know. I are you are you still
Uh,
there?
yes, I am. I was reading a little on Ben Seraph, who I might have Googled his politics. But
Oh, don't do
well,
this
no,
to
I'm not getting into
yourself.
that. I'm not. I'm not. What I'm saying is he said the bicycles and the people with bicycles, they're crazy how they're driving. On my
What?
first day, I almost crashed into them. I don't know. I found a thing. He really doesn't
What?
like bikes, is what I found
Well,
out.
I mean, then he's
So he,
perfect for
because he's actually
America.
German.
He's perfect for America.
I guess he
Oh,
grew up in Germany.
is he?
Um,
No, he was born in Israel.
no, but
I
I
mean,
think he
maybe
moved to
oh, he moved to
Germany when
Germany.
he was a kid.
Let me
Um,
see.
I and then he really hates bicycles. He lived alone in Germany.
I don't
He
know
brought his
when he.
PlayStation,
Well, I mean,
UFC 2K, mostly UFC.
his wiki page picture is really funny. He looks like a total doofus in it. All right. Well, that's
Um,
Ben Seraph.
that's Ben Seraph.
I don't know why this draft mock like Tankathon. I don't believe in their mocks. Like I don't know why they don't. The Celtics don't need a player like that. Um,
Celtics, I don't know what the Celtics are
okay.
even gonna be
Ryan
able to do.
Kalkbrenner, I think, is going to be the Zach Edey of this draft, but with a more accurate draft position.
Trinity Catholic High.
He's a big dude. He can set screens. He's not a great rebounder for his size, but like he's a good defender in the paint. He can pop and shoot threes occasionally. He's going to be fine. I think again, you need bigs like this. I think he has some touch with his passes. I think he could be like a Zach Edey guy where he just starts shooting the three better in the pros because that's not what Creighton asked him to do.
Yep.
I think he's going to be like we were wrong on Edey. We were completely off on him, and
I
I
don't
don't
know
want
if
to be
I was an
fooled
Edie
again.
hater.
I mean, I
I
definitely
might have
was.
been.
I will accept being an Edey
But I
hater and
also
being
never
wrong.
really come up with draft stances. I've almost certainly seen this guy play live a few times
Kalkbrenner?
because I went to a couple PC Creighton games, I think, at least one
Hmm.
in the last 4 years.
I'm
He didn't make an
trying.
impression other than I always kind of respect Creighton.
It's
Four-time
interesting.
Big East Depoy is really interesting to me.
He had 6 blocks in his game against Providence this year.
That
So
feels honestly, I think I might have been at that game. January 14th
yeah,
sounds right, but might have been in
I think if
Creighton.
he
I don't
does
know.
go to the Celtics, like he's a good fit for the Celtics. What they need.
Yeah, just any
Um,
kind of defensive
how much
big.
time we got here?
I think we have 5 minutes.
Okay.
Let's see if there's anyone else you want to pick out. Anything about
Okay,
Yunsin
yeah.
Yang? I do like Chinese players.
Meme player. He's nothing.
Okay. Oh
Looking
well.
at the guys, I'm just
What
gonna look
about
at.
Drake
We're just
Powell?
gonna.
Just I know his name.
He's a guy I was high on coming into the year. The fact that he couldn't crack the rotation. I mean, UNC's badly coached, but like I people want him to be a 3 and D guard, and I'm not sure he gets there. The guy above him, Bogoljub, I think he beats the Poku allegations. I think he puts on weight and ends up being a good NBA player. His handle is very good for a guy who is legit 6'11". He shoots the ball. It's not a high volume, but he shoots the ball well. I like watching him a ton, but if he doesn't add 40 pounds, he's not going to be able to play in the NBA. But
These
I
are great
mean,
jerseys, by the way.
yes, I
Some
mean,
NBA
and you're
experience you've
watching
seen.
how he moves, right? Like I mean, like Euro stepping on guys. I
I
believe in
like
him.
it.
I believe in him, and I will be burned again. But sometimes you just have to be. Maxime Reynaud or Reynaud, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think he's Kyle Filipkowski 2.0, like a solid backup center. Sion James, I love a ton. I would take
I
him in the
remember
20s.
him.
Sion, he is going to be Alex. I know his wingspan's a little short, but I think he's going to be Alex Caruso 2.0. Like he's a kind
Okay.
of guy who will get
Connector
you
defensive player.
connector, great defender, will get you 10, sometimes 20 points when his 3-point shot is falling. He's going to go in like the late 30s, and it's going to turn out that he's like the glue guy on a good team. Chaz Lanier and Kobe Bray, didn't have much opinions on them, but like I've read good things. I think they'll be fine as seniors. Tyrese Proctor is going to be another Trey Tyus Jones Duke point guard backup guy. He should have a decent
Mm.
career. Elijah Martin, I said I love him. He's short. I don't care. He's old. I don't care. He's strong as shit. He's a reasonably good 3-point shooter on pretty high volume for a college guy. He
What
can
about Dink Pate? I remember this guy.
he's
He had a
nothing.
funny name. We've talked about him
I
before.
haven't seen a single credible draft guy who said he can play at all. I think
All
he's
right,
just
because we
nothing.
have talked about him before, either on the show or
Yeah,
somewhere,
yeah.
because his name's fun.
Micah Peavy, he's the other Georgetown guy I like. I think he's gonna be a 3 and D bench guy. That Vladislav Golden, I am on record on Reddit as saying he's going to have a longer career than Danny Wolf. I think he is a traditional big. I think he's a lob finisher. He's a decent defender. I think he just has a skill set that translates better. I think he's gonna have a 10-year NBA career. RJ Lewis, he's old, but like he's another 3 and D guy. Apparently people really like how he defends.
St.
Um,
John's, they
St.
had a good
John's.
year.
Some of the
Yeah.
guys, I'm trying to think if there's anybody in the 60s or 70s. Supposedly this Peyton Sandford guy is like the calculator rats love him. Like, I don't know why. I don't, who knows? He's a sleeper type, but I don't think he's going to be anything.
While we
Trying to think
have
if
two
there's anybody
minutes,
else. Yeah.
let's just look
Um,
at the mock draft. Like, where are the
sure.
dead spots for players to go, and where do people want to target, or what do we think's going to move around here?
I think the Nets are moving off. Well, I don't know what the fuck the Nets are going to do.
I never know what the Nets are doing.
They're not drafting four guys. They just can't. They don't have the room for it. So I don't know, like if they're going to move. I think they moved 26 or 27. I think there's going to be a consolidation. I think they maybe trade. Who's a team that just like needs guys like
Atlanta?
yeah, I think I can see them trading 26
I
and
was thinking
27 to
Atlanta and
Atlanta.
Chicago.
Atlanta, yeah, I don't see Chicago's not trading out. I think
I
Chicago's
don't
going
know
to
what
take Derek
Chicago's ever
Queen
doing.
and he's going to be nothing. Yeah. Unless Jack gets there because he's a Lithuanian guy in Chicago from Illinois. So like that's AK's wheelhouse. But yeah, those are my draft takes. I will
Yeah, the
never be
Nets do
wrong.
have a lot of
I will not be
assets to
wrong
move.
about any of these. Are you looking for a second?
Yeah, I'm
Um,
here. We have a minute.
who are some of the meme players that I don't think will be any good? This Niederhauser
Oh,
guy from Penn
what
State.
about Chaz Lanier?
Did I say he was going to be decent? I said he was going
I
to be
don't know.
decent. Um,
What
who
about
else?
Javon Small? Great name.
I do not know anything about him at
Well,
all.
he's 6'2", and his name's Small, so
Yeah,
that's a tough look.
it's not happening.
And he's 22 years old already.
Nemhard's
Ryan Nemhard, I remember.
he's 6 foot tall. It's not happening for him.
Oh,
He's
wow.
not his brother.
It's a tiny lad.
Izan Almanso was getting like lotto buzz last year, and he's just turned out to be nothing. I don't even think he's gonna be drafted. I don't think Dick Pate gets drafted either.
I think the
Um,
Celtics swing up to get Nolan credit
Alex
away.
Alex Tui has become a draft Twitter guy. Johnny Broom, I mean, he's